Hi, my little stars. Hope you're well and you're shining as a star that you are. And in this video, I'm going to talk about Bashar and his video about how to achieve a perfect health. Because copyright strike I got from YouTube, and I'm not going to dwell into that. From now on, I'm going to translate to you anything that I like from Bashar. So let's see what he's saying about achieving perfect health. First of all, as you know, he or them greets everyone and thanks everyone for being a cooperating factor in this universe, and for giving them an opportunity to communicate through us, with us, about us. So let's see what he says about perfect health. Many people ask them about health, and they decided to give us very simple explanation about that. And once again, he says that, or they say that we call health an issue, which is not an issue, and we give it power but by calling health an issue. And of course, at this time on a planet, many people are concerned about their health, and for a variety of reasons, as we get into the 21st century, and many viruses and strange illnesses are showing up, autoimmune or whatever. And of course, we are noticing that our environment is not so good for our perfect health, which can be true, but it doesn't have to do anything with our health, of course. Everything comes down to our beliefs, to our mindset. And of course, he says that our natural state of being is health. So if that is our natural state, that means that we can reinstall that natural state of our being. First thing he talks about is that we should first talk about the things that we should incorporate in our daily lives to have a perfect health. And that we all heard of these things, but we don't pay much attention to it as we should. We tend to forget those main simple things that we need to do for our health when we confront ourselves with some virus or some so-called disease or any kind of discomfort in our body. That we tend to forget very basic idea of perfect health. We forget to create environment which in many cases can stop onset development of any kind of physical discomfort. So, number one thing that we all should utilize in our environment and for our health is oxygen. It's funny, but we have to remind ourselves from time to time that oxygen is the main and basic source of our health. And it's strange how many of us don't allow ourselves to use and give our body enough oxygen or amount of oxygen that our body needs. So he suggests, or they suggest, first, deep breathing exercises. You can find them anywhere in human history, in all the books. There are exercises in yoga. There are exercises for breathing exercises. So there is no excuse not to do that. And he says that especially at this point of time in our history, we should do deep breathing exercises because of a pollution on our planet. Oxygenation of our body means that we need, as you know, oxygen for our cells to work properly. Thus, any kind of oxygenation, any kind of deep breathing and paying attention to get more oxygen can provide us with perfect health. So the oxygenation of the body is the main element for our health. They suggest that we find some kind of at least cleaner area like parks or woods where we can do those deep breathing exercises or exercising yoga or meditation or relaxation, because through all these four things we get our body oxygenated more, and that way we tend to help our body and our cells to stay healthy. They suggest deep breathing exercises, yoga, meditation, relaxation, because at that state we tend to breathe more deeply, more normally, and not like a panicked breathing, lower and fast. And that way we oxygenate our body more, or our cells. Then number 2 is hydration of our body. Since we as physiological beings are mostly water, we need to hydrate our body. Many of us tend to digest anything else but water when we are thirsty, so he suggests that that is not good because they drain us instead of hydrating us. They dehydrate us instead of hydrate. And they suggest that we pay attention nowadays to many symptoms that showing us nothing else but that our bodies are dehydrated, and that's why we have those symptoms. He says, or they say, that our body is similar to a battery as an analogy. So if we don't get hydrated enough, our cells burn out, same as battery would, if they are drained of energy. We become dry and cease to function, same as a battery. Seems to be electrically conductive. So in that sense, if we don't hydrate our body, then our cells cannot flush themselves and regenerate themselves or work perfectly. But instead, toxins stay in our system. Thus, in time, that can cause many symptoms. Of course, when you not drain toxins from your body, then those toxins stay in your body and in time create symptoms and illness or disease. Generally, it's acceptable to have 1 or 2 quarters of water per day. So 1 or 2 quarters of water per day. But of course, every single individual is different, so it depends on you. This is just a minimum suggestion for you. But you must understand something that is very important, that's what they emphasize, and that is that when you find yourself thirsty, that is a sign that you don't have enough water in your system. So when you are thirsty, that's already an alarm, and you shouldn't let that happen. because it's your body is alarming you that you don't have enough water in your system, and that it's working without enough water in your system for some time before you feel that you are thirsty. That is a final signal of our body, and we shouldn't let that happen. And they say that if we have proper hydration, we would rarely feel thirsty. And we come to number 3, which is also very important, and we shouldn't take it lightly. And that is movement or exercises. They say that movement is like ability of a body to pump, and allows muscles to function as the pumps and to allow the water to flush our body, to allow our body to be energetically vitalized and strengthen our muscular structure, which allows all different mineralogical processes to work through our body, to allow nutrition to come to every part of our body. So movement and exercising is allowing our body to be energetic, to feel more full of energy, and thus we feel more full of life and enthusiasm to do anything in our lives. And on the contrary, when we sit down, we build up energy, but it doesn't flow, which causes stagnation in our cells also. And they explain as analogy that if we don't move, if we don't do exercises, we gain weight, because in a sense our cells are sitting and waiting for us to do something. So the idea then is that oxygenation, hydration, and movement are critical for our health. Then we come to a 4th part, that is reduction of stress. And again, they emphasize that many of the symptoms we have in our body are results of stress. They're nothing more but side effects of stress in our lives. And they highly and strongly recommend that we find any way, shape, or form of reducing stress. And if that means letting go of those situations like work stress and other things that we know in our hearts that they don't serve us, they would recommend that we get rid of it, of course. Or at least use our imagination to find a way to convert those situations in our mind to our benefit, to release the stress, to find something that is more relaxing, more enjoyable, something that would reduce stress, something that we enjoy doing, at least in our imagination, if we don't have time in real life. Thus, the reduction of stress is very important in our society. And we come to number 5, that is elimination of toxins. That may already be in a system. The removal of toxins from environment we are living in, and cleansing of our system, of course. And they suggest there are many systems that we can use to flush our body from or eliminate from our body all kind of heavy metals or any other toxins that we build up in our body during time or during some, caused by environment or improper eating or whatever. They suggest we should allow ourselves to pay attention to what we are putting in our body as a food, as a drink, to avoid toxins like heavy metal and pesticides, so that we drink and eat healthy things, which is very important. So the removal of the toxins from our body is very important. Then we come to number 6, which is lightening of our diet, lightening of food that we eat. Especially because in our society we have many kind of hormone imbalances, which is due to the food we eat. Lightening up our diet will at least assist our body to flush the toxins from our system. And we can do so by eating more food which is full of water, like vegetables. And they suggest that that kind of food is similar to our bodies because it mostly consists of water, same as our body. They suggest less food. They suggest more raw food, more organic food, and the minimum of meat. They do not suggest to take much proteins, especially much meat, only if it's necessary, because nowadays that kind of food consists of a lot of chemicals and toxins, of course. They say that by lessening our food and eating more raw food and vegetables, we give ourselves more and more energy and help our body drain toxins from our bodies, thus staying healthy, or not just maintaining our health, but getting healed. And they suggest that for energizing our system, we actually need less food, not more. They suggest that by doing these things like oxygenation, hydration, and everything else, they suggest our body will be more capable of accepting nutrition from the food and water and oxygen that we take. So these are ideas which are foundation of our health. If we want to achieve perfect health, we should use these ideas and pay attention to these ideas they are suggesting. And that these are very simple things that we can add to our lives, and if we allow that to ourselves, our health will become naturally good. They say that in 99%, if we stick to these ideas and change them, we will eliminate any possibility to get any kind of disease. So when we ask them, Bashar, how we cure this, how we change, how we cure that, any kind of symptom, they suggest that we should first stick to this 6 basics in our lives, change our lifestyle in this way, because those are foundational things that our body needs to re-establish health. And they emphasize that our body has a natural system to heal itself if we allow it by using these suggestions they are talking about. They are comparing it to, in a sense of giving our body a natural fuel that it needs. Plain and simple, those are all the things that we need for our body to heal itself. So these are 6 suggestions that Bashar give us for reestablishing or maintaining our health that we all knew but forget from time to time, so we need to be reminded. I hope you like this video, and write in your comments what you think and if you have any suggestion about health. Bye till the next video.